It's Tiffany Lee with Supernatural Body. It's day 9 without my glasses. And I spoke yesterday about having this kind of letdown feeling after the day before seeing super clearly and then losing it somehow. I was so excited on day 7 and so inspired to keep going, and so I'm wrestling with these feelings on day 8 and day 9 of frustration. I'm also in the middle of a personal storm. So I'm going through some personal issues that are totally distracting me, so that could have to do with my mindset. I'm still trying to focus on not staring. I've been researching blinking today and how much the human eye is actually supposed to blink, which is quite a bit. And every blink is a redirection where the eye shifts. We don't really notice it. We feel like we're looking in one direction, but we're actually looking at spots all around, and we shift the eyes, and a lot of times a blink is a reset and a shift. And I'm, at least over the last 2 days, and since I've taken my glasses off, and even before then, I've noticed this tendency of mine to just kind of stare off into the distance. And it's getting harder and harder to be able to focus my eyes. And I'm looking at the effects that that's having on my mental state, where I'm seeing a lack of focus, where I'm moving off into this daydream state where it's almost like an escape of how, it's not like when you visualize something and it's an active focus state. And I'm speaking mentally. I'm mentally actively focusing on a visualization. I'm focusing on every detail of how it looks within my mind. I'm focusing on the feelings that it inspires within me. And it's a very active state. The daydream state is just kind of thoughts kind of wandering, and I kind of get lost. I don't really know exactly what I was thinking about. And it feels like a mental chatter that is passive in nature, so it is not active mentally. Now, physically, staring is a passive stare. You're not blinking. You're not even really looking at anything. You're not even really in the environment you're in. You are in this kind of haze space. And I think that the two are very connected. I'm wondering if that is the case. So with that said, I've been focusing on practicing blinking and shifting my eyes to kind of focus my attention. There's also the term used in natural healing of the eyes of active focus or active concentration, where you're not tensing, because that's very bad for the eyes, but you're actively focused on whatever it is you're looking at. Not that you're pinpoint, not that you're staring it down, but you're actively kind of studying it, and it's not even conscious, it's totally subconscious. Probably even below that, where it's on auto. It's literally an auto-generated bodily function where that shifting. I have had another just in the last several minutes, flashes of clarity. It's almost like pinpoints of clarity in this sea of blur. I had started blinking a lot, not like consciously like straining the eye, but like trying to mimic as much as I can the bodily function of unconscious blinking, mimic that as much as I can, of darting the eyes and or shifting and blinking, and I am seeing pockets of clarity. And I'm serious, y'all. If we've spent hundreds of years in glasses because people started staring off into space and stopped blinking, and this was science's suggestion, which right now is a theory I'm strongly formulating, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what I'm going to do. But it's not going to be good. All right, I'm talking quietly because the house is asleep. But I'm reading the Bates book. This is the book written 100 years ago. And in the introduction, he is talking about how ophthalmology has been incorrect for the last 100 years previous to him. So that means starting in 1800, and I believe it was with Young, the false idea that was still in superior view at the time of the publishing of his book, that the lens changes curvature, not the eyeball. Hence glasses being corrective. He says that the very basis of ophthalmology is wrong in that. And so that glasses, if that's correct, glasses are made for the corrective lens being the culprit of bad vision. But if it is actually the eyeball flexing and contracting, contracting smaller to see short distances and elongating to see longer distances, then how is a lens going to help? And it's true, as I've been taking off my glasses, and there's been like this fuzzy, cross-eyed feeling, like my eyes are crossed, and it feels like it's slowly but surely loosening, and my eyes are kind of naturally coming into focus just by relaxing in the sun, and mainly just relaxing. I begin to wonder the way that they test in the eye doctor. Of course, there's the Snellen test, eye test on the wall that you read the letters, the 20/20. And then he has the corrective lenses that is in that big machine now that he flips the clicks and the different lenses pop up. And does this look good? Does this not look good? And the lenses are right here and the doctor is right here. Isn't that correct? And so if the eyeball is changing depending on what plane it's focusing on, what does that mean when the doctor is right here? And he's always right here. I always brush my teeth before I go to the optometrist because he's going to be right here in my flippin' face. Nearsighted? Yeah, he's right here. And Bates goes on and mentions it as I'm reading today. The ophthalmology office is stress-inducing. His very closeness is stress-inducing. And these tests are highly dependent on the words of the person being tested. So I have to tell you what I'm seeing on the Snellen eye test. I have to tell you if the corrective lens is good or bad, depending on which he pulls up. When he looks in his scope, he can see the shape of the eye and tell you whether you're hyper myopic or hyper, I forget the word for farsighted, hyper myotic or emenotic. Pardon me, I don't have the terms down. But he can see that looking in your eye, at least going by his information. Our ophthalmology is based on 200 years ago Do they still believe that the lens, science, how science can be founded on a system that is literally like, step 1, have an idea. 2, have a question. And then all of a sudden we have a theory because somebody decided it, and all of ophthalmology put glasses into place, and now all the optometrists are making a ton of money because 9 out of 10 people have glasses. I'm going to come off my soapbox now and relate this to my own experience. Also, what he suggests, first line in the book, is when a person is having vision problems, his suggestion is to close your eyes and imagine a color, white or black. Wait until your eyes are relaxed and you can see that in your mind's eyes, and then open your eyes again and you can see clearly. And indeed, in my flashes of clarity, this is exactly what I'm doing. I'm closing my eyes and hopefully relaxing. I've been practicing it in earnest for over a week now that I've taken my glasses off. And I've been concentrating on either a letter in a distance or the actual object that I'm looking at. And indeed, when I open my eyes, I can see more clearly. You know what? If I do, and I'm tempted to say, when I do get my vision back, the thought of it at first was so exciting, and even in these flashes of clarity, I'm almost so excited I'm scared. And I understand, which doesn't make sense. I want to see. But now I understand why I'm scared. I understand it completely. When I get my vision back, which by Bates's experience, he says there's lots of occasions where it comes back instantaneously. And then my research on the internet is showing a lot of people with myopia at about my level at 2 months, which is to me, from my experience in this last week, showing how long it will take my muscles of my eyes to literally just relax. But I see at the end of this, of course, I will be so grateful to see. But remember, I've had 40 years in glasses. So I have a considerable chip on my shoulder at this point for time lost. I certainly have a high soapbox that people are going to have problems tearing me down off of. With that, I look forward to seeing you tomorrow in the next video. Tiffany signing off.